What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I want to thank you for joining me today. Just so you know, no, you did not miss today's live stream. This is actually a pre recorded because I have some things that I need to attend to today, but I did want to make sure that the show continued as normal. So I pre recorded today's live stream because the show must go on. Now, let's get into today's topic. But before we do that, please make sure to hit the like button. Share this video out. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And also, my goal for this year is to get to 1,000 followers on Telegram. So if you haven't already, please make sure you join my Telegram group. The link to the Telegram group will be pinned in the comment section below, and it is also in the description box as well. So please join the Telegram group so that we can make sure to stay connected offline. So now, with all that being said, let's get into today's information. And what I want to talk about today is money. And not just any type of money, not just any type of spending, but how much money our government is currently spending on illegal immigration, not just on a federal level, but also on a local level as well. And it is billions upon billions of dollars that is currently being spent. Now, a study was recently done by this organization here called Federation for American Immigration Reform. And before we dive too deep into this information, for those of you who are naysayers, for those of you who want to say this is fake news and anything like that, right? For those of you who are what the term is detractors, I guess you can say, right? Before you want to say any of these things, present your information first. If this is incorrect, if this is not accurate, if this is indeed fake news, then please tell me, drop the link and assist me in finding, or I should say the burden is on you. You need to present to me counter data or counter statistics, counter information that proves that what I'm presenting to you is wrong. If you cannot do that, then I'm going to need for you to be quiet because you're simply in your feelings. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out the way beforehand. And now that that's out the way, let's dive into this information from Federation of American Immigration Reform. Because currently, as we speak, our government in total, from federal on the federal level and on the local level, everything combined, we are currently spending $150 billion on illegal immigration. This is outrageous. This is crazy. And what makes this so infuriating is that when it comes to programs that are desperately needed in our communities on a local level and even on a federal level, to the degree that on the federal level funds can be provided, we're told that the government doesn't have it, whether it's federal or local, right? And it doesn't matter if we're talking about programs that our community desperately needs. It doesn't matter if we're talking about infrastructure issues. We don't have it apparently. The only time America seems to have any type of money is when it comes to either throwing billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars at the conflict in Europe, we'll call it. And I think you all know what I'm talking about, the conflict in Europe, or if it's concerning or surrounding illegal immigration. Then all of a sudden, billions upon billions of dollars is being spent, printed and coming out of nowhere and just raining down on everybody except for our communities and the needs that we have, right? So let's get into what FAIR, which is the acronym for the organization that I just described, is talking about in their research that they came up with. So let's do a little reading. I want to come to the introduction here, and it reads as such: this report is currently the only comprehensive examination of the financial impact of illegal immigration in the United States. Every day, hundreds of millions of dollars in American taxpayer money are spent on costs directly associated with illegal immigration. Only a small fraction of these costs is ever recouped from taxes paid by illegal aliens, with the rest falling on the shoulders of American citizens and illegal immigrants. Our aim in this report is to show the American people that the fiscal burden of illegal immigration at every level and across nearly every aspect of life. Excuse me, I'm going to read that part again. Our aim in this report is to show the American people the fiscal burden of illegal immigration at every level and across nearly every aspect of life. These costs range from emergency medical care to in state tuition, from incarcerating illegal aliens in local jails to federal budgets that pay out billions in welfare every year. Because there are so many different ways that money is spent on illegal aliens at both the state and local level, the information in our report is otherwise hard to find or even intentionally hidden. This report suspends, excuse me, this report supersedes FAIR 2017 cost study and highlights massive increases in spending related to illegal immigration that were implemented while American citizens deal with an uncertain economy. The number of illegal immigrants in the US. We're going to skip that portion because we know the number that's been thrown around for years now is that there are 11 million. According to this report, I'll just give you a quick overview. They're saying it's 15.5 million. But if you remember, I believe it was, oh, I wish I had it in front of me right now. I believe it was a Yale study that I cited once before. Some of you may remember in a previous live stream. It was a live stream that I had a year ago. I believe it was a study from Yale that said, according to their findings, there are actually 22 million, 20 or 22 million illegal immigrants in the country, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I believe it was Yale. If it's not Yale, then we're just going to skip that. Is it Yale? Let me see. Is it Yale? Yes. Here it goes right here. So this should be on your screen. Yep. Here it goes. Yale study finds twice as many undocumented immigrants as previous estimates. Generally, accepted estimates put the population of undocumented immigrants in the United States at approximately 11.3 million. A new study using mathematical modeling on a range of demographics and immigration operation data suggests that the actual undocumented immigrant population may be more than 22 million. So once again, this came from Yale. Now we're not going to go too deep into this article. I just wanted to throw that out there. So Yale says it's about 22 million. FAIR, the organization FAIR, says it's about 15.5 million. But just so you all know, that 11 million number that's been getting thrown around for like a decade now, that just simply isn't true. I personally think Yale has it right. Because it can't be 11 million for a decade now. That's just crazy. You know, at this point, that number has doubled with the way in which our borders are just completely unprotected. But now let's get into the cost of illegal immigration in the United States. At the federal, state, and local levels, taxpayers shell out approximately $182 billion to cover the costs incurred from the presence of more than 15.5 million illegal aliens and about 5.4 million citizen children of illegal aliens. That amount to a cost burden of approximately 8,776 dollars per illegal alien slash citizen child. The burden of illegal immigration on U.S. taxpayers is both staggering and crippling, with the gross cost per taxpayer at $1,156 every year. Illegal aliens only contribute roughly $32 billion in taxes at the state, local, and federal levels. This means that the net fiscal cost of illegal immigration to taxpayers is approximately $150 billion, or they have it $150.7 billion. In 2017, FAIR estimated the net cost of illegal immigration at approximately $116 billion. This means that in just 5 years, the cost of illegal immigration has increased nearly $35 billion. This rapid increase is a consequence of the ongoing border crisis and the lack of effective immigration enforcement. The section below further breaks down and explains these numbers at the federal, state, and local levels. And that's what you see here in this very easy to read graph or just data that you see that's in front of you right now, right? Something that's very easy and simple to read. So I want to go through it right now, and then we'll dive into some more information. So as you see here, it says total government expenditures on illegal aliens. Total federal expenditures, 66,449,136,000 dollars. right? That's on the federal level. Total state and local expenditures, 115 billion 608,730,000. Okay. That brings total national expenditures to 182 billion 57,865,000. Okay. So 182 billion bucks. All right. In total. You just keep it simple. Okay. So total tax contributions. Remember, $182 billion in total is what we're spending on illegal immigration. Now, this is total tax contribution by illegal aliens. Okay. Total federal taxes paid, $16,219,495,000. Total state and local taxes paid, 15 million, excuse me, 15,172,000,000 and $140,000. That brings the total tax contribution by illegal aliens to 31,391,635. Now, then we get here into the total economic impact of illegal immigration. So if you take the total national expenditures, which is federal and state combined, which is $182 billion, right? And then you minus that by the total tax contributions, which is only $31 billion, that brings the total burden on taxpayers to $150 billion. Okay. And I'm going to make sure to leave the link to this study or this research below as well. I'm going to leave the link to this in the pinned in the comment section as well as in the description box below so that you can go over it yourself because it is very detailed. All right. So now let's get over here to where it says federal spending. And then I want to get into some other information as well, because I know for some of you, this might seem like, wow, are we really spending that kind of money? That seems crazy. There's no way that we're actually spending that kind of money on illegal immigrants, but it's true. And I'm going to show that to you in just a moment. Let's read this portion here, federal spending, and then we're going to move on from this study. Because, like I said, this is a very detailed study, and I'll leave it up to you if you want to dive deep into it on your own time yourself, which I do believe you should do. The approximately $66.4 billion in federal expenditures attributed to illegal aliens is staggering and constitutes an increase of 45% since 2017. This amount is roughly $3,187 per illegal alien per year. FAIR believes that every concerned American citizen should be asking our government why, in a time of increasing costs and shrinking resources, it is spending such large amounts of money on individuals who are not authorized to be in the United States. This is an especially important question in view of the fact that the taxes paid by illegal aliens offset very little of the enormous costs stemming from their presence in the country. Now, here is where they have a very detailed breakdown of where all this money is going to, right? So if you hit the arrow as you would expect, it gives you an even more detailed breakdown. But we're not going to go through every single thing here, but it just shows here just federal education, $6.6 billion, total federal medical expenditures, $23.1 billion, total federal justice enforcement expenditures, $25.1 billion, total federal welfare programs, $11.6 billion, which brings the total overall federal expenditure to $66.5 billion, right? Now, I'm not going to read this federal taxes portion here, but it's just more detailed information concerning, the kind of spending that's going on here. Federal tax receipts from illegal aliens, $24.6 billion. Net federal impact of illegal aliens, $50.2 billion. And then it gets into all the information concerning the local spending that's happening, right? State educated expenditures, $73.3 billion. State medical expenditures, $18.6 billion. State administration of justice expenditures, $21.8 billion. State welfare expenditures, $2 billion. State and local expenditures, $115 billion. I keep saying that I'm not going to go over all this, but I keep going over all this. I just thought about that in my head right now as I'm doing it. But we can keep going and going and going. But like I said, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comment section, so you can go through this information yourself in detail, because there's a lot of information here in detail. But I want to get to another point that I was making now, right? When I was saying some of you may be hearing this and you think, man, this is seems like a bit much. Is this really how much money that's being spent? Really? Honestly? And I have to tell you, yes. Because when you just look at this number here, right? Let's go back to total government expenditures on illegal aliens. And let's go where you see the United States of America, right? After total federal expenditures, total state and local expenditures, 115,608,730,000 dollars. So on a state and local level, more money is being spent than on a federal level. Now you would think that, how is that possible? Well, it's very possible, right? And I'll show you. Here's an article right here from the Daily Caller. Now check this out, okay? Massachusetts governor seeks to allocate $28 million to implement policy allowing illegal immigrants to get driver's license. All right. $28 million alone is being spent in Massachusetts on driver's licenses. Okay. I'm going to say it one more time. $28 million is being spent alone on driver's licenses. We're not even talking about all the other things when we're talking about schooling, when we're talking about medical expenditures, when we're talking about incarceration. There's so many levels that you can go to in terms of where money's being spent. But it goes to show you to the fine details of which how this money is being spent and how much of it is being spent. Really wrap your mind around that. $28 million in Massachusetts alone on just getting illegal immigrants driver's licenses. That's nuts. But then I bet you in Massachusetts, for those of you brothers and sisters that live there, if you start petitioning your local government for programs that you need in your community, they're gonna tell you, oh, we don't have the money. Where are we gonna get it from? Well, you get the money from the same place that you're getting this $28 million to get illegal immigrants driver's licenses. That's where you get the money from, right? And that's what your response should be. Get it from that same place. Dig it out of that same well, right? So let's get into this article really quick. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but just enough for you to get the gist of what's happening. Voters in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts approved a measure allowing undocumented immigrants to get driver's licenses, and the cost to roll out the program is estimated at nearly $30 million. The proposed cost to get the ball rolling on the new policy, spearheaded by Democratic governor, I believe the name is pronounced, I can't pronounce that. Mura, I believe her name is Mura Haley. I can't read. I'm really bad with names. I'm sorry. But clearly that's her right here, all hugged up on Kamala Harris. So that says a lot, right? But Mura Haley, I believe. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it is what it is. Get over it, right? Are mainly associated with getting Massachusetts registry of motor vehicles up to speed with its new role of verifying foreign documents presented by individuals seeking licenses to the RMV on top of having to hire more customer service representatives and road test examiners, invest in new technology to expand service operations, and develop procedures to ensure data privacy. Mass Live reported Thursday. Furthermore, the funds seek to expand service hours at the RMV to accommodate the rollout of the new policy. So now some people could hear what I just said and they say, hey, excuse me. Well, at least this is kind of creating new jobs, right? Hours are being expanded. That means the workers can get overtime, and more money is being put into the RMV, meaning those who work who work at the RMV, they should be making more money, right? They're going to hire more people, which is going to create more jobs. And yeah, that sounds good and that's cool. It's only going to be temporary, right? But that's cool. But my point is that If they have the money to do this in Massachusetts, right? And now we're talking about local politics here. If they have, according to the article, nearly $30 million to simply spend on driver's licenses, then you cannot tell me that they don't have the money necessary to do the things that need to be done on a local level within Massachusetts when you're petitioning for these things, right? They have it. That's my point. They have it. They print this money out of thin air. They have it. But when it comes to you and your needs, right? When it comes to you and the needs of the American citizen, right? When it comes to you and the needs of the Black community, to be even more specific, oh, we don't got it. We don't have the money. Sorry. Go figure it out on your own. That's what you're told. And I want to carry on, right? Let's move on over here to this next article. Because like I said, it appears as if that number is exaggerated, $115 billion on state and local level. But yeah, you just saw $30 million on driver's licenses. And now in Nevada, Democrats plan to give Medicaid to illegal immigrants, estimate $78.5 million cost. A $78.5 million cost to provide Medicaid to illegal immigrants. Now, to all my people that live in Nevada, how often are your local politicians telling you what they can't do for your community? We can't do this. We can't do that. They're telling you what they can't do because we don't have the money. Yet they have $78.5 million that they're pulling out of the sky in order to provide illegal immigrants with Medicaid. Money for them, but none for you. That's unacceptable. Nevada's Democratic state lawmakers plan to introduce a bill giving Medicaid to illegal immigrants at an estimated initial cost of $78.5 million. The proposed legislation comes from State Senator Fabian Dante, co-majority whip of the Senate Democrats. Dante issued the cost estimate during a Wednesday press conference. However, he implied that the extension could end up being more since there are no exact data on illegal immigrant totals in Nevada, and folks are scared to admit their immigration status. The bill, titled the Nevada Health Opportunities Planning and Expansion Act, or HOPE Act for short, has yet to be filed. Okay. So this hasn't gone through yet, and I'm not going to read too much more of this article here. Understand, $78.5 billion. And let me get into another article very quickly as well. Let me pull this up. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I have it saved. 4.2. Well, I don't have it saved, but let me just New York City. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. This was from back in February. Biden migrant crisis to cost New York City $4.2 billion, more than twice what the mayor warned. Okay. $4.2 billion alone is being spent in New York City on illegal immigrants. So when you come back and you look at this research that was done here by FAIR, once again, FAIR standing for Federation of American Immigration Reform, and you're seeing these large numbers, and you're thinking to yourself, that can't possibly be right. That sounds crazy. Once again, when you're talking about just on a state and local level, when you're looking at Massachusetts talking about spending $30 million on driver's licenses, and in Nevada, they're talking about spending $78.5 million on Medicaid, and in New York City alone already, not New York State, New York City alone, they're spending $4.2 billion. Well, then this starts making all the sense in the world as it pertains to how accurate this study or this research actually is concerning the amount of money that's being spent on illegal immigrants in this country. But once again, when it comes to you, we don't got it. There's nothing we can do about it, but keep voting for us anyways. So with all that being said, that does it for today's show. It is amazing how quickly I'm able to get through a quote live stream if there's nobody in the live chat and I'm just recording. That's pretty interesting how fast I can get through it. But anyways, that does it for today's pre-recorded live stream. Okay, so hopefully you found today's show fruitful. I want to thank you all for joining me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this video out, and make sure you hit the like button as well. Okay, and also, once again, in closing, if you haven't already, please make sure you join the Telegram group. The link to my Telegram group, which is called TD Hip Hop Media, right? If you're looking for it, if you already have Telegram, but the link to the Telegram group will be pinned in the comment section below, as well as in the description box. And if you're listening to the premiere, because I'm going to premiere this video, and you've made it this far in the premiere, you should see the link to the Telegram pinned in the live chat up top as well. So I want to thank you all for your time. My apologies for not being able to do a normal live stream and hang out with you all like I normally do every Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But next Friday for sure, I will be live and we'll rock out together and have fun. And instead of a 25-minute quote live stream like I'm doing now, it'll be the usual, 50 minutes to an hour live stream because I'm chopping it up with you guys in the comment section. Okay. So, anyways, that does it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining me. Share this out, and I will catch you guys next Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live. See you then. Peace.